I held my newborn Adam close to my chest in the white hospital room, his tiny heart beating under my hands trembling, not from weakness, but from disbelief, because I never imagined that the first moments with my child would be filled with both love and betrayal. Across from my bed stood 4 people, turning the happiest day of my life into a nightmare. My husband, Kareem, his parents, Salma and Fareed, and the other woman, Lila. Lila wore a sparkling cocktail dress, her earrings catching the harsh fluorescent lights, her smile sweet and poisonous, while my wedding ring glimmered painfully on my finger. Salma's voice cut the silence as she threw a stack of papers onto my lap. "Sign. You've taken enough from our family." Kareem didn't speak. He couldn't even meet my eyes. I looked at the divorce papers, then down at Adam, crying in my arms, my heart pounding, and I asked, "What is this?" Salma sneered. "It's your freedom. You're not nothing. You trapped our son in this pregnancy, but it ends now. Kareem deserves the best. He deserves Lila." Lila stepped closer, raising her hand and showing off her ring. "He's already chosen me," she said calmly, and then pulled out her phone. The photos hit me harder than any slap. Kareem and Lila kissing in a restaurant, holding hands in a hotel, sharing a bed. My body went cold, and then Fareed's booming voice filled the room. "Sign the papers. Take $50,000 and disappear. The child stays with us." I tightened my hold on Adam, my heart breaking. "You will not take my son," I said. But Salma reached for him anyway. "No!" I screamed as Adam cried harder in my arms and hospital security rushed in, summoned by Fareed. Salma said calmly, "This woman is causing a disturbance." Then Kareem finally spoke, his voice stiff, tired, and cowardly. "Sign, Hala. Make it easy for everyone." Something inside me shattered, because for 9 months they had humiliated me, isolated me, tried to erase me. They thought they could take everything from me, but they didn't know who I really was. I took a deep, steady breath. "You want me to sign? Fine. But first, let me make a call." I grabbed my phone and pressed a number. "Omar, finalize the takeover of Fareed's company by Monday morning," I said sharply, my voice commanding, professional, accustomed to obedience. Silence followed. Then a flustered voice replied, "Yes, Ms. Hala, the $340 million offer." I held Fareed's gaze. "No. Reduce it to $50 million. Either he accepts it or rejects it. They have 24 hours. I hung up and the room was silent. Salma blinked, incomprehensible. "What are you talking about?" I smiled for the first time in hours. "Let me introduce myself. I am Hala Mansour, founder and CEO of TechVista. My net worth? $3.7 billion. Their faces went blank. I continued, "Fareed, your company has been drowning in $200 million in debt for the past 2 years. My company was the only hope for survival. You insulted its new owner." Salma staggered backward. Kareem's mouth hung open, and Lila's smug smile vanished. I spoke calmly. "The modest apartment you mocked? I own the entire building, worth $45 million. The old car you laughed at? I have 8 others. And the charity gala where you met Kareem? I was the anonymous donor who wrote the $5 million check. I'm not a waitress. I'm not seeking money. I am a billionaire." I turned to Lila. "The ring you flaunt is fake. I swapped it when I saw it missing. The real diamond, 3.5 carats, is in my safe." I pulled out my phone and showed footage of Lila, sneaking into my room, trying on my jewelry, taking selfies, another clip of her conspiring with Salma. I looked at my husband. "Do you want the divorce? Fine. Remember the prenuptial you ignored because you were so in love?" I produced another document. "Infidelity clause. You get nothing. I have evidence for 6 months, hotel logs, credit card bills, photos. You waived all rights to my assets." "You spied on me?" Kareem stammered. "No," I said coldly. "I protected myself from a liar." Then I faced his Karens. "As for your company,
I will buy it for $50 million, 85% below its real value. If you refuse, bankruptcy will be declared within 90 days. Your creditors know who to call." Salma's arrogance melted, her voice shaking. "Please, Hala, we can solve this. We can be a family." I said firmly, "My name is now Miss Hala. No, we cannot." I pressed the call button again. 6 of my security guards entered my room. I said calmly, "Remove these people from my room. They are no longer welcome in my life." As they retreated, Salma desperately lunged for Adam, but I blocked her immediately. "Touch my son, and I will press charges for assault." "Salma, are you part of any charity board or country club? By morning, your cruelty will be recorded. You will be blacklisted." Lila's tears streamed down her face. I said, "Your modeling agency? I own 40% of it. You're fired. Effective immediately." Then I turned to Kareem. "Your credit line is linked to a $2 million loan from my company. I will report it. You have 30 days to pay or default. Full custody of Adam is mine. You signed the papers waiving your rights. Perfect evidence for court." The door closed behind them. Lila's cries faded. Salma screamed. Fareed threatened lawsuits he couldn't afford. Kareem fell silent and broken. I looked at Adam sleeping on my chest and whispered, "It's okay, my little one. Mommy's with you." The story spread across the media. Tech billionaire reveals secret identity after family betrayal. My story dominated talk shows and social media. Salma and Fareed's company was sold for $50 million, barely enough to cover part of their debt. They sold their mansion, then their cars, then their dignity. Friends of Salma canceled connections. Lila lost everything. Kareem became a laughingstock. 3 months later, I stepped out of my car in front of Tech Vista, Adam in his stroller. Kareem waited on the sidewalk, pale, thin, desperate. "Hala, please," he begged as security blocked his way. "This is my son. I have rights." I stopped. The wind blew through my hair. I looked at him, the man who once called me my love, now a ghost. "I signed them away," I said simply. "I was wrong," he shouted. "It was my mother's fault. I still love you." I didn't hesitate. "You had a queen and treated her like a beggar. You had a family and chose a mistress. You had everything and then threw it away. Do not contact me again, or my lawyers will make sure you regret it more than you already do." I turned and walked away. Behind me, Kareem collapsed on the pavement, photographers capturing every moment. The next day, fallen husband begs former billionaire wife for mercy. I didn't tear. He was no longer part of my story. 6 months later, I appeared on the covers of Forbes, Time, and Business Weekly. Tech Vista's stock rose 45%. I funded initiatives for women told they were invisible, providing legal aid, shelters, and vocational training. Sophia moved in to help me care for Adam, and Carlos remained my loyal right hand. For the first time in a year, peace filled my life. One evening, I sat by Adam's bed and watched him sleep under the soft city lights. I whispered, "You'll never know hatred, my little one, only strength." A year later, at my annual charity gala, I stood in a red dress before the city's elite. I took the microphone. Some tried to break me at my weakest, thought I was fragile because I was kind, worthless because I was humble. They were wrong. The audience hushed, cameras flashed. I continued, "Tonight, we raised enough to help thousands of women who feel unseen, reminding them that their worth isn't defined by others. Remember, your value doesn't diminish just because someone fails to see it." Applause erupted for 5 full minutes. I lifted Adam in my arms, cameras sparkling like stars. At that perfect moment, I, Hala Mansour, the woman once called no one, stood in a place they could never reach. Because the best revenge isn't destroying